Welcome. Across Motorola Solutions and throughout the world, we're very fortunate to count with very talented, diverse leadership. And today, you will get to hear from some of these leaders throughout the world, their experiences, their advice, and hopefully this will help you as well as you're starting your journey and your career. First, let me start by sharing my own experience. I think that as you start your own career, probably the most important thing is to find that purpose that will drive you, that you will be very passionate about, and that will allow you to make a positive impact in the world. First, I believe that it's very important to put the focus on improving yourself and those around you. Second, reconnecting with that purpose every day as well. Third, not making that purpose so narrow that if you don't attain it, you feel you failed, and if you attain it, there's nothing else to look forward to after that. I made my purpose about children, about women in technology, about transforming this company, about bringing things to society that have not been brought to society before. So you see, there's no way, in my mind, I don't feel I can ever fail. And then last, please, focus on doing good. I think this world needs more of that, and it's absolutely in your hands to make it happen. Across Motorola Solutions, we have not only a lot of very talented women leaders, but certainly they all exemplify what I just talked about, and certainly they all do good. Across many different functions, whether procurement, marketing, finance, product management, engineering, CTO, literally every function is now richer as a result of these very talented women leaders that we have. And I'm very humbled to know them and to have the opportunity to work with them. And now you will get to hear from some of them. Enjoy.
It was difficult for me to accept failures in the past. The fear of failures stopped me from trying things new to me. So I would wish someone could have told me when I was young that don't be afraid of failures. It is no big deal. If you are interested in something, just do it. You will find the joy of exploring your potential.
The best career or job is the one in which you are using the skills you enjoy, but not every job needs to address all your skills and strong areas. The best, what you can do, is to use every job as an opportunity to learn something new and keep an open mind. You may find that you really enjoy something you never think will appeal to you.
When I first joined the company, my supervisor gave me a very good advice to start with. He said, "You are not putting the bricks, but in fact, you are building the house." In short, we should always be clear of what we want to achieve, where are we heading to, and what is the end goal in mind that will lead us into clear planning.
I think that it's important as an employee you get to join other organizations. That will give you the opportunity to get to know more people outside of your day-to-day jobs. What will happen is sometimes you may need to reach out to them, but having the opportunity of being part of these different organizations, you already know some of these people that at one point in time will be a help for you. It also gives you the opportunity to learn about other roles, about other positions. So in a point in time that you want to do something differently, you already have someone doing a different job that might be an interest for you.
Particularly the Women's Business Council and the Multicultural Business Council have been able to help me grow my career. I mean, they teach you things from communications, business savvy, how to understand financial acumen, the things that you really need to know in order to be successful in business. So I recommend people join any of the councils that they have interest in, particularly if they're interested in growing their career. Not only will you meet fabulous people who will help you, but you'll actually learn about the wonderful business that we're in.
From my experience being part of Society of Women Engineers, have given me options that I never considered before, because I started networking with women from diverse backgrounds in different areas of the company and learned a lot from them. Since I have 2 daughters, I have to stress the importance of paying it forward and supporting STEM-related activities. Just last year, I was able to participate in the National SWE Conference in Nashville, Tennessee, where I, of course, was able to network with women from other companies all over the world. And then the very next day, my husband was able to drive my daughters to Nashville where we met, and my daughters were able to participate in a couple of the STEM activities, which they absolutely loved.
The biggest failure I had in my career was probably pretty early on when I was a first line manager within a manufacturing operation. I was young, I was excited about the role, I was really going to be the manager that was supportive of the people, respective, a really listening kind of manager. So I set an open door policy that let the employees come in and feel free to talk to me. And that sounds great, but in hindsight it was a disaster. We lost focus of the business, we lost focus about execution on the day-to-day, and was too busy in personnel issues and problems and really just people wanting to vent. So what I've tried to do in the future is to try to instead rally teams around business goals, business focus. You still have an open door and a listening ear, but not necessarily to emphasize that, and instead to emphasize what we really need to do the business and how we can work as a team to make ourselves successful.
Thinking back, I honestly can't remember any big failures. I had a lot of failures, and I'm sure at the time they seemed big, and I know I stressed out about them for probably weeks after they happened. But just the fact that I can't remember them is a testament to the ability to bounce back. So my recommendation would be, when you do have a failure and you're stressing about it, think to yourself, will this really matter 1 year from now? Because chances are it's more important to you than it is to the bigger picture. And if you just think in terms of the future, you'll get past it quicker.
I personally believe more in challenges and less in failures. It's like writing a code. A first run and compilation is failed, but after that you try again and you success. Success can't come without failure. This is a challenge.
During tough and ambiguous times, I think the first thing is to really recognize that that's normal. It's okay, you're not always going to be in a winning business, on a winning team. There's going to be tough times. It's cyclical. Every business goes through it. The point to really remember, and what I tried to do, is to really focus on what does the business need. At those times, these can be really pivotal leadership moments where you can look at what does the business need, how can I make an impact, how can I help keep my team motivated, and how can I help recommend different ways to do things and better ways for the business to move ahead. These are exactly the times when leaders need to step forward and help pitch in and figure out how to get to those much better times, how to get to a growth cycle, and how to improve.
I stayed motivated during tough and ambiguous times by focusing on my immediate tasks and the immediate expectations of the business. Really just breaking that down on a week-by-week basis keeps you motivated and able to see forward. Also, continuing to develop, constantly seeking out development opportunities, through self-learning, through reading, through interactions with others, really helps me stay motivated.
I believe fear comes from unknown. And so here's the thing, what I always advise to people is spend 20 minutes, picture the worst case scenario, make a plan, and move on. Don't waste your time to think any more of this unknown, because it's not going to go anywhere positive. And then what I look at it is challenges, it's not roadblocks. I view challenges as opportunities. It's how you make that challenges become the newer opportunities.
So the best mistake I've ever made is speaking my mind. I was really tired and stressed, and really I didn't have time to, beat around the bush and sugarcoat it or present the pros and cons. I just laid it out as it is, and it was pretty blunt. And it was in a meeting with upper management, So I felt horrible actually afterwards, and I couldn't sleep all night, and I went home and I was just so worried. And the next morning I got up and I was still employed. It actually helped me tremendously because people are seeking my opinion now more often, and they value it more because they know they can trust my opinion and my assessment.
I think it was at the time I did this mistake, I thought it's a mistake, but it was the biggest opportunity. I was expecting my third baby and I was proposed a new career opportunity. I took it, and at the time I thought it will be, maybe I'm doing the mistake, but eventually it was the biggest opportunity and experience that I had here.
I went back to school for advanced studies, and I remember the first day after my class got over at 10:30 p.m., sitting in my car, I was just thinking, what did I just do? Such a huge financial commitment. I have a family to take care of and a full-time job. This was a big mistake. But 4 years later, I graduated, and I can say that that has had an awesome impact on my personal life as well as on my professional life.
I often get asked what my biggest mistake has been in my career. And it's actually interesting that my biggest mistake in my career actually started back when I was deciding what my college major was going to be. I still remember very vividly sitting down at the kitchen table with my dad, explaining to him why I was going to take a general business curriculum. And I remember him looking very seriously at me and saying, "Why do you want to be in business?" And I said, "I don't know, that's what all my friends are doing. It sounds good." And he looked at me, just like he always did, with no emotion, and said, "No." He said, "Until you figure out what you really want to do, what you really want your passion to be, you're going to go with engineering." And I looked at him and I said, "Okay, you do know you're talking to the daughter who doesn't like math, isn't great in science, and you want engineering." So if you fast forward 4 years from that conversation, I graduated from Marquette University with a computer science degree. And I remember standing at my graduation thinking, okay, now what? Now I've got this piece of paper, now what? I really thought it was a big mistake. But I said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. So I actually started in computer engineering at Motorola Solutions. And what turned out to be what I thought was the biggest mistake of my life turned out to be the best mistake of my life. I've worked in various different positions in Motorola Solutions. The first 14 years of my career were grounded in engineering. When I look back at what my passions were as a 15, 16, 17-year-old woman, they weren't STEM, they weren't science, it wasn't technology, it certainly wasn't engineering, and it certainly wasn't mathematics. So a lot of people ask me, well, how did that work for you? To me, engineering and the STEM degrees, what it gave me was discipline and the logic to be able to succeed in life. So in closing, I encourage each and every one of you that have taken your valuable time to listen and learn to stay true to yourselves, to continue to network, to reach out to other women, both in engineering and not. We form a global, powerful network of very talented individuals that can shape and form a new and better world.
Today, because this didn't happen, crowds can rise. Because this didn't happen, hearts can race. Because this didn't happen, electricity can flow. The future of safety is more than better equipment. It's equipping those who keep us safe differently, with technology that responds even before the first response. A network of devices and applications that extracts critical intelligence from immediate raw data, and design that delivers that intelligence specifically in environments of extreme stress, giving those who stand between order and chaos the power to change the trajectory of a single moment while still in that moment. To keep cities out of the dark, to guide those on the ground, to prevent a natural disaster from becoming a human one, so that people can build their lives never thinking twice, on an unquestioned foundation of safety. Free to create, to innovate, to celebrate. Because when nothing happens, everything else can.